The following video will explain how interracial and multiracial families are beginning to surge in the United States.
We have news tonight showing that America is becoming more and more of a true melting pot. Researchers have found that Americans are more likely than ever to marry outside their racial or ethnic group. So who is marrying whom and who feels the stress? Here's Lindsay Davis.
In 1967, the boundaries were still very black and white.
There's something else that I must tell you.
The drama Guess Who's Coming to Dinner was considered groundbreaking.
This is John.
Fast forward 4 decades, you can see the beginnings of a melting pot everywhere.
The surprising thing here is how much demographic change and cultural and social change has occurred in this country over a relatively short period of time.
Based on the latest census data, the Pew Research Center conducted a study that shows Hispanics, Asians, blacks, and whites are all marrying outside their race at record highs. Interracial marriages now account for a record 1 out of 6 new marriages in the U.S., which makes us one of the most colorblind countries when it comes to saying I do, second only to Brazil.
The racial barriers have blurred to the extent of almost being socially insignificant.
Interracial marriage among Asians and Hispanics remains at a steady pace. The big change is in the black community.
In 2008, 22% of all black male newlyweds married a non-black, just 9% of all black female newlyweds.
We have this thing called the black girl curse.
The consensus in this group was that they want to get married, preferably to a black man, but the pool has dwindled. They also told us their options are more limited.
I just feel that there's a lot of taboo associated with dating black women because I don't think that they're necessarily going to want to take us home to see mama.
The fine print may be complicated, but the overall headline is that color lines are becoming more blurred. And that's good news. Lindsay Davis, ABC News.
Historically, interracial families have been ignored or harassed. It reflected overt racism in the United States. In 1741, a North Carolina statute nullified any marriage of a white, black, Indian, or multiracial person, and there was a fine for attempting to marry. In 1881, a black man named Tony Pace and a white woman named Mary J. Cox were indicted due to the Alabama Code, which forbid blacks and whites from mixing. In 1924, the Racial Integrity Act was passed. This act was a series of legislation designed to keep races from mixing. In 1964, an interracial black-white couple identified as McLaughlin was prohibited from marrying under Florida law. The couple chose to stay together and was convicted under the Florida statute, which forbid blacks and whites from marrying. In the Loving versus Virginia case of 1967, the Supreme Court invalidated state laws prohibiting interracial marriage by stating the freedom to marry a person of another race resides with the individual and cannot be infringed by the state of Virginia.